Hey everybody, welcome to the Justin T. Weller Show on True Chat, broadcasting from Cincinnati, Ohio on this Monday, June 27th, 2016. I'm Justin Weller. As always, I am prepared to talk to you about some wonderful things. Originally I was going to go with a much more philosophical topic of is love created equal? And I actually did a take of that earlier today, and I just didn't feel like I did it justice. I didn't feel like it was what I wanted it to be. So, on that note, we're not going to talk about that today. Instead, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about my week and talk about a couple other things, and we'll go from there. And we're going to table that topic for later. If you really want to see me do a video on it, please leave that in the comment section below, and I will certainly give it some thought, and we'll see how it goes. Anyway, my week's been pretty good, and if you listen to True Chat on the True Chat show, which is a podcast that I would highly recommend you listen to, Camden and I think have genuine comedy, not stand-up type pre-canned comedy. It's all on the spot, talk back and forth, entertainment type of thing. And you can actually listen to that today as well on True Chat, truechat.org, and click on the True Chat show, and you can start listening. I will also link to it in the description so that you can listen there. But my week's been pretty good. I did, as you guys saw the video last week, go to Columbus Pride. I was going to go to Cincinnati Pride, but then I had to go back to Urbana, which is my hometown, because of some True Chat training stuff that we were doing. So that consumed my weekend. Bret now is unfortunately, I think, getting sick. So interesting stuff there. But I did want to talk to you about what do you do when a friend or your loved one or a family member or somebody else that somebody that you care about gets sick. What should you do? So, interesting topic for today's video, but there are some things that are mistakes that people make, I guess, or just common things that people mess up on how to handle when somebody's sick. First and foremost, one of the lines of thought is that if you're sick, you should avoid contact with other people. Now, if you live in the same space as this person, like Bret and I do, even sitting on the other side of the room is probably not something that's really going to protect you that much. So it's actually proven that having physical contact, still sleeping in the same bed, making sure that you're, still affectionate toward that person, those things actually will help them get better faster than if you don't do those things. If you choose to abstain from those things, they can actually stay sick longer, and so definitely don't do that. You got to be all huggy and still stay close and keeping them feeling good. Also, don't treat them like they're children when they get sick. It's one thing to cater to their needs to keep them from having to do too much, but that doesn't mean that you have to adjust the way that you treat their intelligence. You don't want to upset them because you are pretending like they're idiots because they're sick. They didn't suddenly get stupid because they got sick. They're just sick and they don't feel good. So keep that in mind as well. Also, if they have a cold, you can go to the doctor, but instead I would recommend just buying Tylenol cold and flu, and this is not a paid promotion for Tylenol cold and flu. It's just a personal testimony. It will make them feel better. It will clear up their congestion. You cannot treat the common cold, so don't try to. Don't waste your money on the doctor visit. Get that stuff, and if it's not better after 3 or 4 days, then it's worth probably going to see if it's something else. But I would recommend that very much. Tylenol cold and flu works wonders in terms of keeping you feeling at least like you're above water instead of like, this giant cloud over your head and that you're going to be in bad shape. So I'm really hoping that I don't get sick as well, but it's just kind of hard to know. Usually get sick a couple times a year. I don't know. What's your guys' experience with that. But yeah, so I didn't end up getting to go to Cincinnati Pride. I was kind of bummed about that. But I did see a lot of people. Our apartment is on a corner where a lot of people were walking by to get over to Pride because we're like right in downtown. A bunch of you also had asked that I do show you guys, that Bret and I show you some of our favorite spots in Cincinnati, or some of our favorite views of Cincinnati. I actually was thinking about doing a welcome to my city video for Cincinnati, and it'd probably be a few weeks out because it's going to take some time to do it well and to do it the way that I want to do it. But if you guys want me to do that, please let me know in the comment section and I will get on making that. I also want to know what direction you would like to see me go with this show. I enjoy taking time to talk about issues that matter to me. I also enjoy doing, fun stuff with Bret. I enjoy you guys getting to meet my friends and trying to provide some advice here and there. So let me know if there's like a particular direction that you really would like to see it go, because I'm kind of open to whatever. I'm open to keeping it a combination like it is right now, where it's just kind of whatever I feel like each week. I did want to talk about the election real quick, and I know this is a topic where people are rolling their eyes. Don't tune out, I promise. We won't spend too long on it, because I talk about it basically 3 times a week on the Current Issues show on True Chat, which is also linked in the description below. So if you're a politics person, check out that, because that's the podcast that I do. That's how I make my money. That's my primary thing. But basically, real quick, I think that people sometimes lose sight of in the election that ultimately we are all on the same side. We are all working towards the same goal, to make America better. We all have different ideas about how to do that, and that is where all this divisiveness, all this angst, and all this aggression and passion come in. And I think it's important that we be careful not to allow those things to veer us so far away from. We have to sit down and find solutions to problems. We can't just talk about them and not propose solutions. Talking about them is the first step, but so we've talked about it, we've identified the problem, we've discussed why the problem exists. Now how do we fix the problem? And we have to be willing to talk to other people even though their viewpoints are different. I've met multiple Trump supporters. I am not one of them. If you listen to the Current Issues show, you would know that I am adamantly against him being president. I am a registered Republican, believe it or not, and I am voting for Hillary Clinton even though she is not my first pick, because I don't want Donald Trump. I went to her rally today, and I'm actually including footage of that in today's video right about now.
Got work to do. We shouldn't make it so difficult to do your job at home and to do the job that puts food on the table and a roof over your head. Let me just say a word about rewriting the rules. There are a lot of businesses thriving right here in Ohio who see their employees the right way. They see them as assets to invest in, not costs to cut. Should be held accountable.
So there's that. Just a few shots that I thought you guys would like to see. But the point that I was getting at is, even though I'm voting for Hillary Clinton, she wouldn't be my first choice if I had somebody else to vote for that I thought was better. Gary Johnson, I would recommend checking him out. I promised Camden, who is voting for him for president, he's a libertarian candidate, that I would 100% vote for him if he polled over 20%, because I think he'd have a real shot. The gist of it is, he is socially liberal, economically conservative, which I think most Americans, most people my age, most of you guys watching, my guess is that's how you are. When it comes to economics, you want to generally be more conservative, and when it comes to social issues, you generally want to be more liberal. And most of Americans seem to be that way based on all the polling and all the research that I have seen. So I think he is a great candidate to check out, so please take an opportunity to do that. Other than that, I don't know if I have a lot else. I did want to tell you guys that I don't know for sure now if I'm going to PrideCon. We'll see. It may have changed, but I don't know. I know that Bret and I are going to take, if we don't go to PrideCon, we're going to do a different trip during that time, and we have not decided where to go. So this is where you guys come in. Interested in your recommendations. We had discussed maybe just going back to Fort Lauderdale because it's kind of our favorite place to go. It's like my third home possibly, and I really like it. I hope that we get to live there sometime. I miss it all the time, but we're probably going to go there if we don't come up with someplace better. We've talked about going back to DC. Well, actually, Bret has not been yet, so we might do that in order to get him there. Haven't really discussed New York too much, but if you guys have a good destination that's like a reasonable drive from Cincinnati, and what I mean by that is, I mean pretty much anywhere, just preferably not something that takes like 24 hours or more to drive from Cincinnati. So if you can come up with something that's less than a full, like if it's a full day's drive or less, then we'll probably do it. But give us your suggestions and we'll look into them, and because that's going to be the end of July. So the end of this coming month, we are going to take a vacation somewhere and don't know where yet. So please, please, please give us your suggestions and I'll look at all of them and see what I think. And again, you're also supposed to be telling me in the comments what you'd like to see the direction of the show be, whether you'd like to get more input from me on issues that you guys care about. You also need to let me know if you want to see the Welcome to My City of Cincinnati video. It'd be more of a cinematic, you know, here's these different views and that type of stuff. So if you want to see that, great, let me know. And on that note, make sure you check out everything else that TrueChat has to offer. Remember, this is not the only show on the network. We're not like YouTube networks that are talent networks. We are truly a network of shows. We are a media network, 15 national shows. We've got a lot of great stuff, plenty for you to check out. We're launching a whole new user interface that's super interactive. So I'm really excited, and I hope that you guys take an opportunity. It's linked in the description below, truechat.org, truechat.org, and also follow me on social media at Justin T. Weller. I mentioned last week, I'll mention again this week, actionforus.org. This is a organization that I have started with 2 other YouTubers. We're working to make sure that legislative change actually takes place because of the actions in Orlando. We don't just need people to donate, although that would be wonderful if you can donate to it. We also need people to volunteer and to just get involved. Follow us on social media and that type of stuff. So again, there's a link to that in the description below. And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I really don't have anything else for you guys. I always feel like I'm forgetting something. Always, always, always. No, I don't think so. I don't think I'm forgetting anything. So on that note, thank you very much for tuning in to the Justin T. Weller Show for TrueChat, broadcasting from Cincinnati, Ohio on this Monday, June 27th, 2016. I'm Justin Weller. As always, thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you next time on the Justin T. Weller Show. Be the change.